name is Leonard Michelle. I'm a certified substance abuse counselor. I'm also the founder of Writers in Treatment. Writers in Treatment, like many of you know, is a nonprofit charity where we help people who can't afford to go to rehab. We get them a scholarship or we pay their way. And in fact, our little niche is people in the writing industry. So if anybody here knows anybody in the country who is suffering from addiction or alcoholism, who makes a living off the written word, just tell them to call us at Writers in Treatment. That's writersintreatment.org. You can get our phone number pretty easily. First, I want to thank sincerely Mike Bloom, who is sponsoring this event and hosting this event. And I think Mike Bloom, who runs this Pasadena Recovery Center, and I've been in this field for a while, I think he's one of the most compassionate and generous people working in the treatment industry today. And I think he deserves a round of applause. So I guess this evening actually started for me a couple of years ago when I had my TV on and I was doing some work around the office, and I hear this gentleman from Vancouver being interviewed during the Olympics up there, the Summer Olympics a couple of years ago. And I hear what he's saying, and I'm thinking, wow, this guy sounds like a cross between Hippocrates and Kuan Yin, with a little Aldous Huxley and some Bill Wilson thrown in. And by the way, Bill Wilson and Aldous Huxley did become close friends when they both became superstars in the human development field a couple of years after Bill got sober. Anyway, so then I look at the TV screen and I see this gentleman being interviewed. I'm thinking, my God, he looks like John Lennon also. So now I'm like in love. Before the interview was even over, I was on Amazon buying 3 copies of his best-selling book, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, subtitled Close Encounters with Addiction, which I had a few myself over the years, so I could relate. Last year, Mike and Writers in Treatment had Dr. Mate at the Skirville Cultural Center. We had 325 people, standing room only, and funny enough, Gabor played a song by John Lennon that night to prove some point he was making very well. So it's really, with great affection that Mike decided to bring Gabor here to his home. So this is like a little salon. This is like a little, gathering in home. So I think the energy will be a little different than with an audience of 325. So there might be some audience participation along the way. Last year, Writers in Treatment had a Real Recovery Film Festival in Vancouver, which we're having another one this year. And I had the opportunity to hook up with Gabor in Vancouver and, went to his house, had some tea, and then Gabor said, let me take you to my favorite Afghani restaurant. So I said, sure, don't. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm with Gabor Mate in an Afghani restaurant. Okay, Gabor Mate, internationally known author and speaker, who suggests that capitalism causes more illnesses than viruses and germs and heredity. And there I am in Vancouver, a foreign country, believe it or not, and I'm thinking my mother would be so proud to see me here, knowing that I'm probably going to end up on another watch list. Another governmental watch list. And now I'm going to be like Homeland Insecurity will be watching me. I was glad they let me back into the States. This morning I thought, God, I hope they let Gabor in this morning. So just a little thing, Writers in Treatment, as I said, we get people in treatment. We also do some prevention and awareness events, including the Real Recovery Film Festival, which we're having our 4th film festival in LA this year, our 1st in New York, our 1st in Fort Lauderdale, our 2nd in Vancouver, and Chicago in December. So it's sort of like taking on a life of its own, and we show great films about addiction and recovery and alcoholism, and after each show we have either a clinician or a filmmaker talk to the audience and do like a mini process group. But anyway, Writers in Treatment, we're a growing nonprofit. We just celebrated our 3rd year. We need volunteers, we need board members. We could always use some sponsors for our events. Our events are usually free, like tonight, because we get sponsors, and our film festivals are always free because we get some generous treatment facilities and individuals to become patrons and sponsors. So this is not Gabor's introduction. I'm going to leave that to Mike Bloom, President, Director, CEO of the Pasadena Recovery Center. Thank you.
First of all, good to have my family. You know, it's my wife and sister and mom and friend Charles. So always love it. We started the facility in 2001. And literally, we had no patients, and then we had one patient, and we asked Ben, "What would you like for lunch or dinner?"
Use the mic, please.
We would all go out and get him what he wanted. So anyway, it's been it's been a really incredible journey. It started with a patient and started with my family, and really just an incredible. It costs a lot of money, but in that we have a real love here, and we've stuck together. And even as my dad passed away in 2008, my sister, mom, and I have continued the legacy. And I mean, he used to say, you know, it's a legacy to my kids, this treatment center. And he used to say, what are you talking about? This is a long time from now. But what he really meant is, it really is a legacy. And this is what's really nice about this place, is that we are a family, and we help people. I see someone, you know, I see exactly what my dad was saying, when you really do help somebody get their life back. And, you know, there's some people that have contributed to tonight that were people that my dad worked with, and you can really see that the recovery works. So I want to introduce my sister Allison, who has really been a part of this from the beginning. Her and my father really brainchild of this whole treatment center, and we all did this together. But anyway, Allison Treasel, my sister.
Good evening. I'm going to introduce our speaker, but before I do, there is a story that, if you'll indulge me for a minute, I have to share. About 6 months after my dad passed away, there was someone in the waiting room, and she was very upset. She was crying, and I had never met her. And I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, I don't know what to do. I just learned that Dr. Bloom passed away. And I live in Oregon, and I've been his patient. He was a psychiatrist for 30 years. And I drive here because I have no health insurance, and he only charges me $5. And when I cannot afford my medication, he buys it for me. And there can be no greater legacy than that. And so when we do things like this, we bring speakers here who share the same compassion and kindness and belief that you take care of people and you help them heal. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background regarding our tremendous speaker. And forgive me for reading some notes, but his accolades are long, so I'm going to...
You don't have to read them all.
No, but they're good. They're good and they're important. He was born in Budapest, Hungary. He moved to Canada with his family in 1957. After graduating with a BA from the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, he returned to school to pursue his childhood dream of becoming a doctor. Dr. Mattei ran a private family practice for over 20 years, and in 1999, he became the staff physician of the Portland Hospital, a residence and clinic for people of Vancouver's downtown east side. There, he treated many patients suffering from mental illness, drug addiction, poverty, and HIV. As a public speaker, he addresses professional and lay audiences all over North America. He has all of his 4 books have been Canadian bestsellers. And by the way, they are available outside at the end, because I know we are all going to want to read more and know more about him. They've been published internationally in nearly 20 different languages, including his most recent title, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. Close Encounters with Addiction. One of the things that struck me most about the realm of Hungry Ghosts is his radical belief in the humanity of people battling addiction. That addicts should be treated with respect and compassion, not punished in our legal system. Some of you who are lucky enough to be in recovery realize that it's only through treatment that we found a way to handle our own hungry ghosts. Widely recognized for his firmly held belief in a connection between mind and a healthy body, Dr. Mattei is a guest on numerous radio and TV programs and makes regular appearances on Democracy Now! Those of you who listen to KFPK know that Amy Goodman calls him the philosopher physician. Here's what fellow Canadian Naomi Klein, author of The Shock Doctrine and No Logo, say about the realm of hungry ghosts. Gabor Mattei's connections between the intensely personal and the global, the spiritual and the medical, the psychological, the political, are bold, wise, and deeply moral. He is a healer to be cherished, and this exciting book arrives at just the right time. I know Dr. Mattei has a comprehensive view of addiction and other social and health ills that confront us today, and I am looking forward to hearing more. But first, I want to quote Gabor from the foreword of his most recent book, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. And I've read this now several times, and I love it. And it goes, I dedicate this work to my fellow hungry ghosts, be they the HIV-infested sweet dwellers or inner city neighborhoods, the inmates of prisons, or their more fortunate counterparts with homes, families, jobs, and successful careers. May we all find peace. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Gabor Mattei.